My name is Lorenzo. I'm a software engineer and I'm building my first end-to-end application just for fun. The idea? A content manager where you can schedule once and post across all your social media platforms. I'm doing all of this for fun, but I hope one day my app will be used by a large pool of content creators. Last week I finally achieved the first milestone in the development of the backend for my app. The main features are ready to roll, and this includes creating a new account, managing your account, uploading media, creating posts, and scheduling posts. If you need a quick recap of what I've done till now, you can check my previous video right here. The main part of the app still needs to be developed, and that would be being able to link your social media accounts to my backend so that you can start cross-posting on all your social media platforms. I think this is going to be a very challenging piece of development. This is why I want to take a pause now and start doing unit tests, mainly for two reasons. The first one is that since I've already done quite a lot of work, I want to hit a checkpoint, so I want to start introducing unit tests. And the second reason is I don't want to wait too long until I start adding unit tests, because otherwise I would have like a huge amount of code to decode. So today we are starting unit testing. But we're not going to do it the traditional way. I want to use AI as much as possible. Almost 100% of the code needs to be AI generated. I want to see if I'm able to use ChatGPT for pretty much everything. I'll start by generating all the unit tests for all my classes, and then I will maybe rely a little bit on Copilot to polish things if needed. But the goal here is I want to see how hands-off these can be. Generating unit tests takes a lot of time, it can take hours, so I want to see if AI can help me become a lot more productive and faster, without cutting corners, of course. So let's jump into the code. Okay, so here we are in the code, and I want to show you my setup. Here on the left, I have a window with a new chat in ChatGPT. I'm using O3 Mini model since it is the best at coding and logic. This is a new chat, so we're gonna start fresh. And let's see in the code what I was referring in the intro. I already added all the spec files in my project for unit testing, and we're gonna start with the authentication module. That's the first one that I wanna test. If we look at the code structure, we will see immediately that the auth module depends on users module, email module, and well, a bunch of others, but the most important is the users module. And we can see that here in the auth service file, you can see that this auth service class relies on user service and email service. In fact, if we go to sign up, in the sign up method, this auth service calls the user service to create a new user. This is just one example. It also does the same thing here in the other methods. So what we want to do is we want to break all these dependencies, because we cannot create, for example, this user service also has a dependency on the database. And we don't want to create all these dependencies, an instance of the database, creating actual test users when we do unit testing. What we want to do is break all these dependencies, and this is where dependency injection comes all together. If we design our software in a very organized way with dependency injection, we are able to break this dependency. And what we're going to do here is, instead of instantiating an actual user service class as a dependency of auth service, what we're going to do is we're going to mock this service. We're going to mock user service class with a mock object so that we don't need the actual instance. So I want to see how able ChatGPT is to generate all the mock dependencies in the controller, and then also all the mock that the auth service needs, plus all the unit testing. So let's get started with this file here. And we're gonna tell ChatGPT to work with this file. So here we are, let's start prompting. Okay, here we have the answer. It generated the content for the spec file for the controller and for the service file, which is what we asked. So let's start with the controller. I'm gonna paste the code here, and I want to see how complete this is and how working it is. So let me start the tests. Yeah, of course now everything is failing because there should be at least one test in each file, and now pretty much all of these are empty. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna filter by name and only select the auth controller.spec file. And it passes. Well, of course it's pretty empty, but the good thing is everything seems to be set up. Let's now copy paste the service unit test, and once again let me see how complete this is. Well, I see some red squiggles here. Let's see what's going on. I'm pretty sure I can fix this manually. Shouldn't be that hard, but I want to see if ChatGPT is able to fix it, or at least I want to see what this is all about. Let me see if ChatGPT is able to fix this. As you can see, this code works. It's probably just not ready out of the box. So just have to make sure that you know what you're asking ChatGPT and why it breaks. So that's what I'm trying to do here. So now we have another problem here. I wanna see if AI is able to like do all the work for me. I just want to make everything and fix everything just using AI. I want to see how good this tool is. So seems like everything is ready to run here. So let's try to test this file here now. auth.service.spec.ts. Okay, all the tests are passing, so that's great. Great job, ChatGPT. Let's give a look at what test it actually created. Yeah, so here it's generating all the mocks that it needs, and here it is filling each mock with the required functions, the required method calls. And then here it's testing, it should hash the password correctly. So it's creating one password and hashed version of the password. Then here in validate user, it has 1, 2, 3 unit tests. So return user DTO if passwords matches. So if a user logs in and the password matches, it should return a user DTO. In this case, it should return null if password do not match, and should return null if users not found. Seems like pretty extensive to me. Then here test the sign up method. So it's creating all the mock data that it needs here. Here it's testing the mark as verified email. So when a user clicks on the email link that they received to validate their email, this is the login. Throw an error if user is not found. Create a refresh token, should create an update refresh token for a user. And then the refresh token should refresh access token if refresh token is valid. Yeah, this coverage seems like fair to me. I think we can move on. Let's now generate tests for the controller, and let's have ChatGPT do it. So honestly, I'm impressed by how good the coverage for these tests is. So I'm really happy with what ChatGPT is doing. So yeah, let's see. Okay, so ChatGPT has generated all the code for the controller as well. Let's copy and paste. We can replace the entire file, I guess. And let's see. Create user DTO. I think I know what this is. It's trying to create user DTO with not all the fields. So I'll fix it myself. Partial, and that should be I misspelled it, partial. There you go. And these as well, it needs to know the type, which is an actual, as create user DTO. This should be it. Okay, good, no errors. So let's see what it has done here. Before each, creating once again all the mock objects, testing the sign up, testing the verify email. It also added the unit test for the test endpoint that I created. I think I can remove this because at a certain point I will also remove that test endpoint, so I don't wanna keep it there. I guess now we can test just this file, auth.controller.spec.ts. Okay, great. All unit tests passed here as well. So I think we can now go on and repeat all the process for the other modules. We can do the email service. I think this is really where AI tools shine. If you can do this like back to back with one file after the other, and it can save time not only in thinking of all the unit tests, but also writing unit tests yourself. This saves a lot of time. So now let's now generate tests for the email.service file. In this case, if you can just like copy paste and speed the process, I'll probably be able to do this in I don't know, 1 hour, 2 hours maybe. And here we have it. I'll just copy paste and see what happens. Okay, this one went through pretty easily, no errors. Let's see what it did here. Yeah, it's also mocking the process.env parameters. Yeah, not much to test here, so it was just like one call to see if the email is sent when a new user is created. So great job here. Let's now go to the media. Let's test the users. Let's test the users first. So I want to do the module first. I want to do the controller first, sorry. So let's test this. Let's move on to the next file. We have the same error here. This is not a user DTO, this is a partial. And then here it is as user DTO. Let's test it. Users.controller.spec. Passed. Great job. So now we can move to the user service. User service. So this is great. I don't know if it makes me a better dev or a worse dev. A better dev meaning I'm really more productive and faster to do all of this. Not a better dev is because like I barely need to turn on my brain to get this thing done. So that's scary. And here we pretty much have the same issues that we had before. I'll fix this first. So these are really all the fixes that I have to do, and this is great. So let me test this file now. Users.service.spec. All tests passed, great. So at this point, it is just a matter of repeating the same process for all the modules that we have. Now we have left media and post. So let's start with the media. Let's start with the media controller. Next file, please. All tests are passed. And let's now move to the media service. So So you see that once you've done the initial setup, this becomes really repetitive, and that is what really I want to avoid doing it myself. That is why I'm leveraging so much these Gen AI tools, which are great once again. So let's now run all the tests. So if we just run this command, it should run all these spec files so that all the tests are run. And this is great. Look at that. We have 72 tests in 9 test suites. And it took 6 seconds to test them all. That's great. And of course, this is just the base as far as unit tests go, but this is solid already. The goal of this video was just to see how ChatGPT and generative tools in general can help generate boilerplate code for you. In this case, unit tests are, we all know they're boring, and for me it's just a bunch of repetitive code. So if I can leverage AI to do the work for me, I'm all about it. And I think this is all for now. I'm really curious to hear your thought about this, so please share it in the comment. For me, I'm astonished. I have to say that 90+% of the code was plug and play. ChatGPT did great at generating both the dependencies and all the mock objects. Of course, it wasn't perfect. There were a few adjustments to be made, but I think it was most because ChatGPT didn't have all the insights about, for example, the data models. And that is where it made the most mistakes. And it was like a very easy fix for me anyways. But for the most part, achieving 100% unit test coverage on all my classes was done in like less than 1 hour. And all that repetitive process of duplicating existing code and adapting the same code to different classes was a breeze. The best part for me was that it barely felt as any unit test development at all. It felt more like reviewing code than writing code. At this point, I think AI is pretty much like alcohol. It amplifies who you really are. If you are a good developer, it can take you to the next level. If you are a not so good developer, things can go south pretty quick. Let me know in the comments if you have ever used AI to generate your unit tests and if you like this approach. Now, subscribe to this channel and stay tuned for my next video where I will start coding the part where users will be able to connect their social media accounts to my app. Stay tuned and see you soon.